What's up?
Whoa,
Yo,
we're here.
we
We're
are
here.
here. Alex is back.
I am. I am back for a limited time only. Well, who
What?
knows? I'm just kidding.
News to me. Oh no.
Yeah,
It's always how it
I'm being
happens on
replaced.
broadcast, right?
I'm being replaced by something.
Something or someone. Now I'm extra
I don't
concerned.
know. I didn't have enough time to think about it to make the joke go. So it'll happen so fast.
So fast. Oh no. Oh
So
no.
fast. So fast.
What's new, man? What's going on? How's that Dasani?
Water. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Everyone else seems to hate it, but I don't. I'll
I
drink it all day.
from a young age, I have not been able to enjoy Dasani water. It's just no, I can't do it.
I think just enough people
Terrible.
hate to hate it, and I don't think it's water. It's cold.
It's got like a
You know,
distinct like what is it about Dasani? What is it that they do specifically that makes it taste so different from like any other bottled water?
well,
Good up.
their bottles are made from
Tastes so good.
plants. I think it's
All right.
different because it's a different way of they remineralize. Because there's most people are like, it's lake water, it's spring water, whatever. I don't fucking know. Dasani just steals their water from somebody else, and then they remineralize it, remineralized it, so it's not real water, and then they make it real water. That's what I'm to understand of it from just reading the bottle. So maybe that's what it is.
Okay, so I'm looking this up.
Here's the thing. Well, you keep looking it up. I think most people hate it because it was the only bottle, like really, that you could find other than, your standard Nestle bottle that would be in vending machines. Dasani would be in most vending machines because
Coke.
Coke owns the world. Um, Specifically in Canada, Pepsi's very there, but
Yeah.
whenever you go to a restaurant, you always say Coke. You never say Pepsi until somebody goes Pepsi. Okay, I guarantee it. No one ever goes like, "Oh, I'll have a Pepsi." Nobody says that. No, nobody says that.
I mean, I think
Not at
some
all.
people do, but we just don't associate ourselves with those people. With those
Exactly.
types.
Those people.
Okay,
Anyways,
so this is the answer that I found. So, first of all, this is what Jerry Allen on Quora has to say. They answered it 3 years ago. They studied AAS, drug and alcohol counseling. Don't know what AAS stands for. Anyway, their answer to the question, why is Dasani water bad? First of all, Dasani is just regular tap water, but they also add magnesium sulfate, otherwise called Epsom salt, that not only has laxative properties, but is a known teratogen, cause birth defects. They add potassium chlorine, which is, I think this is bullshit answer.
yeah, I don't feel like that's true because I don't
No,
think
that's
they'd get away with a lot
so
of putting it.
fake. Okay. Here
But
seems to be something that's more real. So pure water, such as distilled or via reverse osmosis, tastes very flat. Most people do not like it. Spring water usually tastes much better. The reason is due to trace minerals in the water. Different springs will have different minerals of various concentrations. Water the better bottled water. That doesn't make sense. Better bottled water companies do is duplicate the type and concentration of the better tasting spring water. Dasani may have settled on some cheap minerals to get an approximate spring water like taste. There's also the possibility they knew. Okay, so all of this is just opinion. None of this is true. Whatever. All
from
right.
all
Well,
those
I give up.
facts, what I said was basically true. Is that they just took water and made it into something.
Yeah, they just didn't like put the effort into making it like regular, like adding the minerals of spring water that you get from
Yeah,
all the other big brands.
yeah, but then their bottles are worse because they're like these bottles are nice and strong. They're recyclable, made 30% of plants.
They are strong bottles, yes,
Yeah, and
but I still prefer the good old Brita filter and reusable water bottle. I'm
well, I
done
mean,
with these one-time use plastics wherever I can.
well, this one says it was made from 100% recycled bottles. So is it
I mean, that's
really
cool.
a one-use bottle plastic
I
if
mean,
it's
it
being
is if
reused?
people are disposing it in incorrect ways.
Yeah, and it's up to 30% made from plants.
Well, look at that. It's even got a leaf on the bottle.
Yeah, So I feel like they're doing something right. If they're
Well,
still in stores.
it's water, guys. I mean, H2O. Who knew there could be
Mhm.
so many changes with just normal water and not even like talking about flavored water? Like, man, water's deep. Like the ocean. I mean, the ocean goes really deep.
Anyway, so
What do
this
you think?
week,
Like,
lots of things happened. We're just going to move away from this before it goes down to deeper and deeper hole
I couldn't help
of
it.
water.
The Marianas Trench of water discussions.
Yeah. So what happened this
Not
week?
to
We
be confused with the
got
band.
not a lot of things happened this week, But
Few things
what
happen. Like,
I mean, well, obviously things happen. There's just not a lot of crazy things happen.
it's stuff.
It's stuff that we can talk about. Golden Globes were this weekend. Kind
Yeah,
of.
who knew? I
I
didn't.
knew they weren't. I knew they were happening.
Yeah.
But obviously, I knew like the awards went out. They did the nominations one week and the awards went out the next week, which
Yeah.
I don't really know how that works.
That's a
But
quick
whatever.
turnaround. Yeah.
And it was all, of
Yeah,
course,
this
the
was the
week I was
first
not
like
here.
non-aired Golden Globes.
Yeah,
right?
nobody's gonna pick it up. Nobody wanted it. Nobody needs it
Well, because
until
like, wasn't this one that was canceled last year?
yeah. So they canceled it because there was a whole thing.
Yeah.
So last year, they went under high fire of not having enough, multicultural people in there in the decision process or in the Hollywood Foreign Press. It was all a group of old white men or something. I don't remember. And then they said, "Oh, we are changing it a bit, and this and that." And then everyone's like, "That's not enough." So NBC, is it NBC? I would assume it's NBC. Dropped them, and nobody else picked them up. And they said, "Oh, we'll go without a reward show until things get better."
Yeah.
Until representation's involved. Because realistically, it's all kind of one group, and you can see that from the movies like progressions. Like even look at the movies
Mm.
nominated this year. Let's like look at it like for Best Picture. It was Power of the Dog, which no one ever heard of until recently. Which Benedict Cumberbatch stars as a horse, as a old middle Midwest rancher back in the day. I don't really actually know much about it. I was watching the trailer and then I stopped.
Yeah.
King Richard, again, never heard of it. Dune, obviously we heard of. Coda and
Great movie.
Belfast.
Yep.
So all these really very strong white led films. Which I mean, fair enough. If they're the ones that are being made, then sure. And if the skill and talent's there, whatever. But if you think about it though, where is the except for King Richard? King Richard's actually is like a black film, like a highly black film, because it's about Serena Williams and the other one, Vanessa Williams' father. Which I feel like we've gone through this before. Don't really know why we made a movie about him when it was the girls that were the stars, but whatever. We've gone through that before. We've had arguments about it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, if you just look at that kind of stuff, like these Oscar baiting films, that's what they are, and they're directed by white people, which is fine. Again, like I don't have a problem with that, but like that's the idea they're saying is like, oh my gosh, there's no representation, there's no, like what is the gist? Like who's nominating these films? Who is the ones getting to view these films? You know what I mean? Like, there's no really women-led movie.
It's two sides of the fence. It's not just like there's no options out there to pick from. It's who's judging this as well. Like, how can we make sure that that's a diverse slate so that it's equal representation who's voting and making these decisions, right?
Yeah. Well, like even like that, you got Belfast, which has a very strong male lead as well, but it's like there are some female leads in there. But what's her face is in it? What is her name? I remember. What's her name? She's from Harry Potter. Doesn't matter. But I mean, like Jude Hill and Jamie Dornan are like the main leads, and they're like very white people.
Yeah.
But Jude Hill's a child, so you can't really get mad at him. But you could. I mean, it's a child, so. But Judi Dench is like one of the big names that in it of Dame Judi Dench, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking. Obviously, I can't ever say her name right, but the girl from Mission Impossible, the more recent ones,
Catriona Balfe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but
Yeah.
that's how I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Was she in the Mission Impossible films? I don't remember. She looks like the girl from Mission Impossible. I don't know. She might not be.
She was in. No, she's the girl from Outlander.
Saw that. I don't watch that show. But yeah, so there's that. So let's go through that. So best motion picture, well, that one was The Power of the Dog.
Yep.
It's on Netflix right now if you want to go watch it. You don't have to. Nobody says you have to. But if you like Benedict Cumberbatch, it's Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch.
Penguin.
And who else is it? It's got Kirsten Dunst in it.
Haven't seen a lot of stuff with her in a long time.
No, she missed out on Spider-Man. What a loser.
Yeah.
I think she wanted to do it. She and Emma, they were going to bring the girls back, but I think it's because Emma Stone was pregnant at the time. They couldn't. That's what I read. There's a lot of things coming out about this movie, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But we'll get about that. And then the biggest one that everyone's really kind of like, he's everyone's kind of favorite bad guy in a sense is Jesse Plemons. Once you see him, you're like, oh yeah, I really hate that guy from everything he's in, but he's actually not a really good actor. That's why you hate him. He was like the cop in like Game Night, like their neighbor, the weird neighbor.
Okay.
He was in what's that one show that everyone loved because they were forced to. It's gonna bother me until I remember it.
Forced to.
Breaking Bad.
Jesse Plemons. Yeah, he's also in Fargo. I also like to call him low rent Matt Damon.
There you go. See, everyone hates him because of the characters he plays. Because the characters he generally
he's actually a
really
terrific actor, though. He's excellent.
People hate him. That's why people hate him.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Paul Dano.
Is he in that
struggle with him? Yeah, he is.
I like Paul Dano. I think he's going to do very well as the Riddler. He's playing the Riddler, by the way. And he looks really cool in the new pictures.
In case you didn't know. Yeah.
What do we got next? The best television series drama. We've got Lupin, which I've always wanted to watch, but I never watched.
Yeah, I keep hearing it's absolutely terrific. Yeah.
Lupin, The Morning Show, Pose, Squid Game.
You should probably watch The Morning Show, Alex.
Nah, I'd rather watch Pose. Succession one again. Succession's doing really well these days. It's supposed to be a really good show as well. Squid Game's kind of surprised it didn't win, but whatever.
We got a comment saying we have to watch Lupin. OMG.
Well, thanks, Sharu. I will eventually, not because you said it, but because I wanted to.
Wow,
and that's how it's gonna say it. Nobody tells me what to do. That's why I've never watched The Morning Show and never will.
Tisk.
Best director, motion picture. We got Kenneth Branagh for Belfast. Jane Campion. Oh, female director. Look at that. I didn't even know this. I take back some of what I said. The Power of the Dog. Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maggie Gyllenhaal's major direction or debut. The Lost Daughter. Steven Spielberg for The West Side Story. I'm shocked he didn't just pay his way to win that movie. And Dennis Villeneuve for Dune. Come on, like,
is there like precedent behind that? Did Steven Spielberg buy an Oscar or like a Golden Globe somewhere along the lines?
You're welcome. First of all, you're welcome, Shrew. You're welcome. She says, "Wow, thanks, Alex." Second of all, and to answer your question, Matt, it is a bid. So basically, like a lot of this is why it's such like a big hypocrisy about these kind of award shows, because like you put in your movie and then you bid for it. Basically, you're trying to bid people who to vote for your movie. Say, hey, but the big thing is like consider us for this. But really, a lot of production companies will start giving people stuff. Hey, push this movie, push that one. You know what I mean? It's like an unspoken term. That's why a lot of people are so mad about it, because the higher up white companies with the older white men that lead it, like Fox and the old Fox, not new one, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like all those guys would pay off a lot of those companies, a lot of those people, because they wanted that power. Like that's why everyone's like the Harvey Weinstein thing. That's why he always kind of won a lot. He had a lot of power in Hollywood because of what he would do and what he could do for people. And then obviously his downfall took too long to come, but it came. But Anyways, so the winner of that for the best director was Jane Campion for The Power of Dog. Apparently, this movie is supposed to be
Nice.
good, guys. I don't know. We'll find out.
I'll have to watch it.
Best performance by an actress in the motion picture drama. Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Never heard of it. Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. Never heard of it, but I'm surprised she didn't win. Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos. That's
I'm actually intrigued by that.
Yeah, she played.
I've recently been seeing it pop up.
I Love Lucy.
Yep.
What's
the actress?
Yeah. Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, and Kristen Stewart. Spencer. And Lucy Ball, yes. Kristen Stewart was the favorite going into this. I think a lot of people thought she was going to win for Spencer. But Nicole Kidman won for being the Ricardos, which, interesting. A lot of people thought Kristen Stewart was going to win. A lot of people.
I also heard like Lady Gaga put on a terrific performance in House of Gucci.
Yeah. That's true. I heard that too. I haven't watched it. I have no intention to. It was a major bomb, and we've talked about this before. How Ridley Scott needs to relax and just kind of give up for a bit.
Chill, bro.
Yeah. What do we got? So then we got Best Picture, musical or for musical or comedy. Kyrano, never heard of it.
Is it Kyrano or Cyrano or Serrano?
Serrano. Maybe that's right. That makes sense. Don't Look Up. I watched that the other week. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. Had funny moments.
Which one?
Don't Look Up.
Oh, Don't Look Up.
What?
Yeah, Don't Look Up. Yeah, we watched it on the weekend, I want to say. It felt like a movie that was a little too long for what it was. Like I didn't dislike it. I just like there was a lot of moments here at the movie where I was just like, I'm done reliving the past 2 years of my life, basically, is how it almost feels like just the way decisions are being made. It's very satirical and like it's I don't want to say like it's a great movie, but it's like it's one that you like it's a ton of social commentary, very tongue in cheek, and I think it had to end the way it did. I truthfully do feel like it had to end in that way, without spoilers. I felt that's the way they had to take it and to get their message across that they were trying to get. So it was an interesting watch, but it was also just a painful watch at times.
Yeah. I agree. What else we got? So that, and then it was Licorice Pizza, which also had a lot of hype behind it. I kept seeing ads for it everywhere. I never watched it. And then what else was there? Oh boy. Tick Tick Boom and West Side Story. And West Side Story won. Wow.
Very cool.
Best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Michelle Colliard for Annette. Alana Hayam, which for Licorice Pizza, which is weird. But hey, good for her. We saw her perform at Oshiaga once or twice. It was weird.
Wait, is that the Haim that?
Yeah, she's one of the Haim sisters. She's all the sisters are actually in the film.
Really?
Yes. She's the youngest one. Then we got Jennifer Lawrence, Don't Look Up. No surprise there.
Actually, and I mean, like, I've been a little over Jennifer Lawrence for several years. I think she needed to take a bit of a break from like the big blockbuster films for a little while, which I think she did. Like, I haven't really seen her around a whole
lot lately. This was her first movie in like 2 years, I think.
Yeah, which it like honestly like
that she's filmed. Yeah,
it's just it's honestly like sometimes you just get really like over seeing actors like they're like, for example, Adam Driver, right? It seems like he's in everything these days. And it's not like I dislike him. I think he's a good actor. I'm just like, I don't need to see him as often as I do, and Jennifer, and there's special cases like Sam L. Jackson where it's just like he's the black guy in the movies, right? To quote Ted. But Jennifer Lawrence's character was really refreshing. My favorite recurring segment in that movie was her continuing to bring back a moment where somebody charged her for free snacks. It was just, I loved that it kept coming back, and I was frustrated. Not like frustrated, but I was like upset at the end of the movie that I never got the true closure that I was looking for, where I was just like, I want to know why he did it.
I would have done the same thing. Like, come on. You got newbies coming to your thing. You're like, okay.
Oh man, it was funny. That was a
Yeah.
good bit of like recurring. That was a good recurring segment from the film that
Mhm.
her character delivered, and it's just like came out of nowhere multiple times. It was great.
Yeah.
It felt very real, like something that an actual person would like continue to dwell on.
Yeah. Yeah. That was good. Who else is in, Best Actress is
Emma
well,
Stone from
surprising.
Cruella.
Yeah, surprising. And then Rachel Zegler
Mm,
from West Side Story. This is one of her biggest like first real films, I think,
mm,
for it. And she came out of it winning. So there you go. Good for her.
pretty cool.
I
Yeah,
do want to watch West Side Story, but I also
yeah.
don't because the story is like ridiculously boring. I know the story of West Side Story that I find it so ridiculously boring. Um, and I just I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's all going to be. I know the musical is very very long,
hmm
so
Yeah.
I assume this movie's going to be very very long. And I've never watched the original, and I never plan to. So,
hmm That's
anyways,
two
that's the
hours
point.
and 36 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I've seen things longer, but still, that's not the point.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a short movie. Let's put it that way.
no. Best performance by an actress in a television series drama. You got Uzo Aduba for In Treatment, Jennifer Aniston for The Morning Show, Christine Baranski for The Good Fight, Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale, and Michaela J. Rodriguez for Pose. And Michaela J. Rodriguez won.
Win.
Yeah, never saw Pose.
Nope.
Um, Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, Ben Affleck for The Tender Bar. That just came out on Disney Plus, or is that Amazon? No,
Oh, really?
Prime. Prime. Um, and that's about him being like
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah.
mentor to some people or something. And you got Jamin Dorian for Belfast, Syrian Hines for Belfast, um, Troy Kutsar for Coda, and Cody Smith McPhee for The Power of Dog. And Cody Smith McPhee won.
What?
This movie has become a very big, big power hitter right now.
Yeah.
Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Oh my god, Mahershala Ali. I don't know why that took me so long to say. By Swan Song, which is an Apple TV movie. Um, Javier Bardem being the Ricardos. Sorry, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of Dog. Will Smith, King Richard, and Denzel Washington, The Tragedy of Macbeth, which I find hilarious that they made in the first place with Denzel Washington and uh what's her name? Um she won last year for what is it? It's gonna bother me until I remember her name. Florence, no, not Florence. Oh
In the
fuck.
machine.
No, you wish.
Francis
Uh
McDormand.
that's it, Francis McDormand. That's the one. Yeah. I find that so weird that they made that movie and then
Hmm.
out of nowhere and just came out of nowhere, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyways, so Will Smith won for King Richard. A lot of hype for him for this one.
Yeah.
Lots of hype, and they a lot of talk about him finally winning his first Oscar. I mean, I don't really think there's a lot of things that he's done that's like he's done okay
He's
movies.
had, yeah. I mean,
You
there was
know,
certainly like that period of time that he was really pushing for it.
yeah.
What was that movie that he did with his son like a long
The
time ago?
the Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, I felt like that was like the biggest push for him to get an
Mm.
Oscar. But like he's held his own, even in like that apocalyptic movie that he did, where it was just him throughout the whole movie. Like you didn't really see any other
Um,
humans. I'm really
it's
struggling with.
it's like a remake of a remake. Fuck, what's it called?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my gosh, we suck.
the end of the what is it called? Man.
Not the last one. It's like something stupid. Anyways,
Uh
we all know what you're talking about, I think.
yeah. I have to look it up now though. I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Yes, the remake of a
Yeah.
remake. Yes.
So like there was that, which was obviously like a big push for him. I think Concussion was one of those movies that he really was trying to push for that.
Yeah.
Ali, I think, was one. So like he's
And
had several movies that you can look at and be like, clearly this is him like really pushing for that best actor.
yeah, exactly. Well, he got it for his Golden Globe. So maybe a lot of times the Golden
Yeah,
Globes don't always
it's a
predict the
precursor.
Oscars, but They
It's a
do get a
good
lot.
indicator that you're a
Yeah.
strong front runner.
Yeah. And then we got Best Original Score for Most Picture, won by Dune with our Hans Zimmer.
It's not
really
surprised me at all.
No, the other ones are like, you got Encanto, which had an okay soundtrack.
It was good. Like I've heard it played over and over in my house for the past week and a half.
I mean, to be honest, it's not the best. Like, it's not the best Lin-Manuel Miranda thing, but he has thing.
Wasn't bad.
Lin
either.
has, his songs are always the same. They're different, but they're the same. So like the way it plays,
they have their tells. Yeah,
you like the end. The song for end of Act 1 is always the fucking same. It's all this big chorus ensemble song, and it just overplays each other. And at the very end, they're all singing their own story, and then it ends with the main character.
Yeah,
every time. Doesn't matter what movie it is
together.
Yeah. Like, we don't talk about Bruno is this one, and you're just like, okay. Anyways, so obviously not a surprise that Hans Zimmer won that. Best original song for motion picture was which is kind of surprising to me because I thought it was actually kind of garbage, was No Time to Die.
People are really
No Time to Die for
Billie Eilish, though. Like,
I don't get it.
Really
I don't
like her stuff.
Get
it seems to be the hit thing, and I mean, like, maybe we are now the new boomer generation, but like, I don't get it either. I've tried.
I'm sure
I've tried to listen to her stuff.
Like, this song isn't horrible. Like, it actually shows her range a little bit better than most of her songs, I find. Because I find she doesn't put a lot of effort in her songs. She's just whisper singing. And anybody can whisper sing. And I just, like, I don't know. I just, and then I've seen a lot of, like...
I mean, to be fair, it's not just about the singing. Like, it's the whole ensemble, right? It's the whole production of it makes best original song. So, like, I do understand there's more to it.
Yeah. Well, Phineas, I'll give him that. Phineas has done something, like, his the song, like, the actual music of the songs aren't bad. Like, some of his stuff. Like, but I find, like, with Billie Eilish, we'll go on a little tangent here. It's like, I've seen videos of her just, like, obviously attacking men for body shaming, or like people just commenting on bodies and stuff like that. And I get that. That's true. We shouldn't.
Yep.
But then there's videos of her saying, like, there's one specific video that pops in my mind. He's like, you give an ugly guy a chance and he thinks he will rule the world and he will never let that go. And I'm like, what? First of all, what? like literally the video I watched is her saying that in that interview, and then a guy literally going like, what the fuck? And just walks away, because all her songs are about women and, like, body empowerment and how you shouldn't body shame, how you shouldn't do all this stuff. And a lot of her speeches are, and like in concerts and stuff. But I mean, and then she goes and then she does that. And I'm like, it's gotta go both ways.
But it could also just be her way of, like, roundabout talking about Trump, because that is one ugly guy who got some power.
I'll show you the video one day. But
sure.
But like, I get it. Like, granted, she was probably like 16, 17 when she said that. So, you're in a different state of mind at that point. I get it.
For sure.
But you can't, as we all agree, you can't
play both sides.
You gotta be body shaming on both ends. But anyways, that's my thing. Best performance by an actor in a motion picture musical comedy. Big surprise here. Andrew Garfield won for Tick Tick Boom. I haven't watched it yet. I keep meaning to watch it.
I've been planning to. Yeah.
But I just never get into it. I'm just like, it seems like a lot to get into, and I just don't. You know what I mean? But Andrew Garfield's on a big high right now after Spider-Man. So again, another thing we're going to talk about later, I think, because Spider-Man is still making a lot of rounds in the news right now.
Spider-Man.
But he was up against Leonardo DiCaprio, Peter Dinklage, Cooper Hoffman, and Anthony Ramos, which not a lot of like Leo and Peter Dinklage. I mean, those two are a little bit one of the fight, but I don't think Anthony Ramos's performance in The Heights was that great. Or
no, it wasn't like incredible or anything. He seemed like he did in Hamilton. Like he doesn't seem like he has a lot of range. Yeah,
he came into a lot of fire recently this summer because he was found like he went to a strip club with a different girl that wasn't his fiance. And now they're not together.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I know, right? But apparently they were really nice people. Anyways, TikTok is ruining a lot of people's lives. Let me tell you what. Best limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television. That is a lot. I feel like those are different categories sometimes, but that's fine. We got Dope Sick, which apparently is really good. I haven't watched that yet either. Impeachment, American Crime Story. I'd probably watch that. Made, apparently also really good. I haven't watched that either. Man, I haven't watched a lot of stuff. Mar of Easttown. Didn't watch that either. And the Underground Railroad. Also
This is
didn't
some
watch that.
quality commentary we've got here.
Did you watch any of those?
I mean, no, but I
There
have
you go.
had it made to my Netflix list, so I'm that far along.
There you go. The winner was the Underground Railroad. Best television series, musical comedy, The Great. Never heard of it. Hacks. Got a lot of hype at the Emmys
Yeah.
this past September.
Yep.
Only Murders in the Building. Kind of surprising. Reservation Dogs. Heard is a funny ass show, by the way. And Ted Lasso. And Hacks won. Weird.
I
Well, I
watched
thought
some of
Ted
Hacks.
Lasso.
I haven't finished the first season, but I've watched some of it. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Best actress in a TV series, musical or comedy. Hannah Ennebrey for Hacks. Anna Bender? No, doesn't matter.
Ina Binder.
Yeah. Something like that. She didn't win. Elle Fanning, The Great. Issa Rae, Insecure. Everyone thought she was going to win. Tracy Ellis Ross for Blackish, nominated every year, loses every year. And Gene Smart, Hacks, who won, which is not surprising. Not bad.
Yeah.
But for best performance by an actress in a limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television. Jessica Chastain scenes. Yeah. Jessica Chastain scenes from a marriage. Never heard of it. Cynthia Erivo, Genius, Aretha. She wished she plays Aretha Franklin. I thought she was going to win it, but she didn't. Elizabeth Olsen, WandaVision. Everybody wanted her to win. Everybody, apparently wanted her to win. Margaret Qualley for Maid, and then Kate Winslet, Mar of Easttown, obviously won. You put Kate Winslet in anything, she's going to win it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who she's up against because they love her. Alex, I don't think I've seen a movie.
She was on the Titanic and survived.
Here's the thing. I don't think I've seen a movie that I liked of hers. And I don't even know if I like Titanic. Because I watched that. I haven't watched it since I was a child. So, like, I don't even know if it's a good movie. And I don't plan to ever watch it again. But
do you remember when it came out? And, like, this is pre-DVD because this is, like, 1997.
I gotta get more.
It was on 2 VHS tapes. 2.
Yes, I own them at some point. I gotta get a better stand for my camera. It's all shaky because I move too much. But that's a problem for next week. But yeah, no, I can't remember performance of that. So, but that was also what 30 years ago now, almost. So
30 years ago.
I wish it was 1999. Actually, so it was actually 20 something years ago.
Yeah, I guess we're only. I thought it was 97 for some reason, but now I'm second guessing. Titanic.
97. You're right.
Sank in 1911.
Yes, but the movie came out in 1997. Because I remember not friends, but classmates of mine would saw in the movie theaters. Now, granted, we were in grade 4 when this came out, so think about that for a second.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters too.
And they had to stop the movie because they had to put the new reel on because it was so big at the time. For regular movie theaters. So it was what it is. But anyways, Kate Winslet won like she was going to. Not a shock. No surprises there. Apparently I've not seen Mare of Easttown. I'm sure it's good. Herpty derp. But Kate Winslet's gonna win whatever she's in, no matter what. Best performance by an actor, limited series, anthology series, or motion picture made for television. You got Paul Bettany for WandaVision. Didn't win. Oscar Isaac, scenes from a marriage.
Some would say his performance was pretty robotic.
Moving on. Ewan McGregor, Halston, which apparently was a good TV show. Apparently people liked it. Tyler Raham for The Serpent. He did play a okay character in that TV show.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible, But then, how are you going to beat Michael Keaton for Dope Stick? Right? How are you going to win? How are you going to beat the best Batman ever? So, he's Batman. What else we got? Best Supporting Actress, Television. Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus. Caitlin Dever for Dope Sick. She's turning into a really good actress. I like her. She's not too bad. Andy McDowell for Maid. Cool. And then Sarah Schnook. I hope I said that right. Schnook for Succession. She won.
Schnook,
Schnook.
Snook,
Schnook. Snook?
Schnook.
Anyways, she won. Best screenplay of Kenneth Branagh, Belfast. Kind of surprising. But Kenneth Branagh is pretty good. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Best television actor, musical comedy. Anthony Anderson for Blackish. Didn't win, never wins, always nominated. Nicholas Hoult, The Great. Steve Martin, The Only Murders in the Building. Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. And then Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso, winning it, of course.
Obviously. Yep.
Best Picture non-English language. Drive My Car from Japan won it. Sounds like right up your alley.
Any of them?
Yeah, me neither.
What's Drive My Car about? I'm gonna look into that.
Got car in it, so Matt's instantly interested.
I've been watching the
it's gonna be a love story
Drive to Survive Netflix series that apparently is really popular. And has kind of brought a bit of an audience into F1 recently. That it seems like a lot of people of our generation are really into F1 all of a sudden, which 5 years ago I don't think was the case. But now I'm well into the second season, and I'm like, damn, am I gonna watch next season of F1? I'm actually into the drivers and the teams now, and I'm actually into all of the drama and controversy. We'll see.
So Drive My Car has nothing to do with the car.
Looking it up. Well, there's a car on the cover,
but it's about Yusuke Kafuku. I ruined that, by the way. Is a stage actor and a director happily married to his playwright wife, and then one day she just disappears.
No.
So that sounds interesting. That sounds like that'd be fun to watch. What else we got? Best performance by an actor in a television series. Drama. Brian Cox, Succession. Lee Jung-ji, Squid Game. Billy Porter, Pose. Jeremy Strong, Succession. Who Won? And Omar Sy, Lupin. So Jeremy Strong won Succession. Apparently Succession's a really good show, guys. Really good show. But I don't want to get into it until it's over, because then I want to just be able to stream the whole thing.
You just binge it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a really good show that you're just gonna want to know what's gonna happen next and happen next. That's why I haven't watched Billions yet, because that was a really good show a couple years ago, apparently. But it's still on, so obviously it's falling apart. But
because you don't hear anyone talking about it anymore.
Yeah, so I want to wait for it's over to just get into it and just watch it and see what it's about.
The only argument I have against the whole wait till it's done and then watch it through is I think you miss out on the opportunity to have the ongoing conversations and being part of that community throughout the years that it's on, right? I feel for all the years Lost, as an example, that's a show that I completely missed the boat on. I, to this day, have not watched Lost. But when you talk to people who have watched it, especially while it was on, people were talking about it constantly, and so you felt like you were part of a community. And there's many shows like that, right? I fell into Breaking Bad because I actually caught up before it ended and was able to start having those conversations with people. And I just think there's something really enjoyable about finding some of these shows that more than just the really nerdy folks are into it. Huge swaths of people are into it, and so everybody's talking about it as it's going.
Yeah, but see, the problem with some of those things, Billions, was on
HBO
before Crave was really here, and before we could really get it, and it was hard to watch. Some of those shows, just being Canadian, makes it a little bit harder. Not of that's it's just for TV sense, not a lot of other things. We'll go back to this Best Motion Picture. Encanto won. Not really surprised. It was up against Flea, Luca.
Honestly,
My Sunny Mad.
I preferred Raya and the Last Dragon personally. I think
there's two A's in this Mad, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it differently. And then Raya and the Last Dragon, which you're talking about there. Yeah, I mean,
that's my preference.
From an actual animation standpoint, I felt Encanto a lot better. It was a lot more fast-paced moving. As from a technical point, it looked a lot better. And this is from a guy who doesn't watch fucking animation movies. So
it was overly vibrant, which isn't a bad thing. It was just it was very vibrant from an animation standpoint. And it was, you're right. It was a bit more cartoony in terms of how the characters move about and whatnot. It wasn't as
and the story, was a lot more sad than you thought. I thought it was gonna be. So it was a lot more. because that girl just got a hard rap. She gets
Yeah.
and then grandma just fucking hates her and
Grandma's
doesn't
just
want to
hard on
fuck
her
him.
her whole life. Yeah, like she's the
Just doesn't
cursed one or
understand it.
something.
Like, yeah. So, and then
Um,
son just leaves and hides in a closet for
yeah,
anyway. Spoiler alert.
like very different movie, right? Like Encanto feels like a
Yeah.
very traditional like coming of age movie, and Raya, which also is about a coming of age, it was much more of an adventure, right? And so for me, it was far more. I don't know.
I think
It's more
well,
my
they're two different
type of
films.
movie, I guess. Maybe.
Well, yeah, there's two different like Encanto was about more. I found it more of a it relates to people who feel like left out in a family or feel very different in a
Yeah.
family, and then Raya the Last Dragon, is just searching for something. Right? She's just trying to save the
Yeah.
world in the sense.
Yep. Yep.
So
No
a little
big
bit
deal.
different. Yeah. Best supporting
Encanto's
actor
all about their
slash
privilege, and Raya is all about her trying to save the world.
yeah, her privilege of trying to save the world. She finds a dragon now, has a dragon best friend. Like, how do you get to have that? You don't get to have that.
Who happens to be Aquafina, who is a
Yeah.
badass. Yeah.
What else we got? Best supporting actor, television show. We got Billy Kudrow for The Morning Show, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Mark Duplass for The Morning Show, Brett Goldstein for Ted Lasso, and Young Soo,
Who is
well,
now
for Squid Game, who is now the first ever
South Korean actor.
South Korean actor to win a Golden Globe.
Which is
And probably the
I think he's
oldest, too.
77.
Yeah,
Yeah, 77 years old. Yeah,
good for him.
That's pretty cool. He was fun. He was a great, like, just like
Yeah.
I'm I'm seeing the picture, which takes you back to the first game, the red light green light, where he's just like smiling and he's just like running forward and having like the time of his life doing this game while everybody else is freaking out. Yeah, he did a great job.
Well, he knew what was happening, so I get it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Best supporting actress, motion picture, last one. Ketra Belfast for Belfast. Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog. Anula Elise. King Richard. Ruth Negga for Passing. You heard it wrong. That's on you. And then Ariana DeBose for The West Side Story. Well, she won. That's good for her. I like Ariana DeBose. She's a good actress. She won, and she's Black and Latino, so it's kind of like a double thing for her. Very proud she is on the Instagram I saw. So good for her. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Golden Globes, and what do we think about that?
Well, it completely went by without, I think, anybody knowing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what else we got for television? We'll scrape through here real quick. We got the trailer for the Bel Air show, the new one.
Yeah,
Bel Air show.
It's funny. While I was watching the trailer, I wasn't sure if it was a series or like a movie. Like I just like watching it. It felt very cinematic. But I'm excited that's a show. That it's a show, a remake of French Prince. Looks cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. For sure. Nice little drama, little
new
drama.
take on it. A little bit more serious, a little less sitcom-y.
Yeah. Plus, we got the announcement for Boys season 3. A little teaser. Yeah,
I still need to finish the second season.
Oh, stop! You guys a lot. How did you not finish it? I don't even care for the show that much, and I
got to waze through it. Okay, I think when it came out and when we were watching it, it was really heavy and dark at the time, and I think at the time Atlas wasn't born yet, and I think it was during a time where like we were like scared, like there was something going on with the pregnancy and we were kind of freaking out, so watching the show was not like an enjoyable experience at the time, so we just stopped and then we never came back to it.
Fair enough. Well, I'm gonna just just gonna show you this little. I think it's a little fun little teaser that we're seeing. This is it. That's all it shows. And it just kind of shows where Homelander's mindset kind of is these days, and how psychotic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's really it. So, yeah. Because I won't spoil the ending for you, but a lot of crap happens to the whatever they call themselves.
Yeah.
The 6?
The 7?
Yeah, a lot of stuff
The
happens.
7 that
there.
was down to 6 for a while because they couldn't find the one that got blowed up because he was invisible, but he was also blowed up.
Exactly. And then so we Book of Boba
Spoilers.
Fett episode 3
Yeah.
came out today.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. Yeah.
What?
I didn't have time.
What?
I have a busy life.
What? You have one job for this thing. One
I
job.
have multiple jobs.
For this thing. I said for this thing. Is to keep up with the system that's going on.
I didn't. You know what? It came down to I had less than 30 minutes before this started, and it was either starting that, not having time to finish it, or being late for our 8:30 start time, or just watching Cobra Kai season 4.
Well, why would you? I feel like we don't need to watch
the whole episode. I was able to finish it and still be here on time.
Yeah, but Cobra Kai is the whole season there. You got time to watch that. This is one episode a week.
I didn't have time. I didn't have a chance.
Jeez, I think you should prioritize the things that only happen once a week, not the shows that you can watch all day, all time.
Hey, listen. You become a father and then tell me.
No. I like having, my life to myself. I'm good. Anyways, with Matt's failure,
I'm disappointed.
Like this was like the best episode they've done. So like, you missed a lot, man. Like a lot.
Well, I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have to talk about next week's episode, and we're just gonna skip over it. Did you even talk about it last week? I don't even know
because I hadn't watched it yet.
Oh wow! Why do people like this? Is why people don't? Oh, we have one thing to do. One thing. So you don't even know about Black Carcassonne?
Huh?
Exactly. You just missed like one of the biggest moments. Oh my god.
We'll do a YouTube short tomorrow once it's all been watched, and we'll post it. The reactions.
What a shame. What a shame. You have 2 episodes. Oh my gosh, so much happened in those 2 episodes.
No, I saw last week's episode.
Well, you said you did. You said you didn't.
I didn't. I hadn't watched it in time for last week's podcast.
Well, then you saw Black Carcassonne. I'm saying his name wrong. You don't really know his name until the next episode, but I knew who he was before that.
Okay, well, I don't know what the name is.
It's the Wookiee.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've seen him. Yeah.
Well, Black Carcassonne is huge. He's fought Obi-Wan Kenobi before. That's why he has scars on his face. It's kind of crazy. He's a big character in the books. But and then you got the twins obviously showing up as well in last week's episode.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Kind of a big deal. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm so 2 episodes in. Okay, 1 episode in, I wasn't really like huge on it. 2nd episode in, I was more drawn in. I was definitely enjoying it more than I enjoyed the first episode. But at this point, like before I've even seen the 3rd episode, like I'm not as like stoked about this show. Like Mando was for me was like excellent, but I've like consistently there's just been things about Boba Fett that I've been like less than impressed by.
Don't take my hype for the characters for the show, because those are 2 different things.
Yeah.
I like Mandalorian, but it's the same damn show. This is the same damn show, and the pacing of both those shows
it feels
are awful.
Similar.
They're very awful paced shows.
Yes.
And this one has a different way of telling its story too, because it's going from his past and to his present. And it's just like it's just kind of fucking annoying.
It's taking me back to like watching Arrow. Like just the constant every episode has to have a flashback story happening concurrently with the modern day story. I'm just like, at least this show doesn't commit the sins of Arrow, where he was learning his lessons from his flashbacks to implement them in his current day. But until the flashback happened, he wasn't doing those things, or he didn't know how to do those things. It was just like,
well, I mean, you have to watch the new one, because you might take back those words. But I won't.
No.
So Not totally. There's some things like if you want
Darth
to
Vader.
piece it,
No!
if you want to piece it together like what you just said, it works. If you don't, then it doesn't have to work because there is a way and there isn't a, and it's kind of
I know,
fucking.
like,
It's weird.
this
There's
is
a
the
lot of
way.
things that happen because he's like. I think this whole season's about his whole power struggle of not Isley, Mos Asta, wherever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Asta, it's not Mos Eisley, it's the other one. Anyways, it's going to be his power struggle for that. You learn a little bit more about that in this latest episode. So yeah, it's got a really nice tie back to the movies and then this new one. For at least for Jabba storylines. So yeah, the whole show so far in episodes, it really is at like a 6.9 to 7.1. Like there's no it's like the storylines are just like there, but they're not there. They're not progressing as fast enough. This show, I'm pretty sure, is only 7 episodes, so they have a lot to do to pick it up from
in
here.
4 episodes, yeah.
This last episode was a little more action packed than the last 2. So there's a little more action, and it's it's interesting action. Like it's a little story bit driven action. So and character development. So it's nice.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes from there. It's kind of a real piss off at the end to me a little bit, but once you watch it, I'll tell you why. But yeah, so Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett. Let us know what you think. What do you guys think? If you like it and if you're not, if you're like, just hurry up, get this over with so we can watch The Mandalorian, that's fair. I got that too. Or you're like, okay, hurry up and finish the most expensive TV show ever made, The Last of Us, so we can watch Mandalorian because that's why we can watch Mandalorian. Because he's off doing that. But we'll see. We shall see. That's
Indeed,
television for me, bad.
Yeah. Well, I will have to say, Cobra Kai season 4 has been enjoyable. The first episode was actually not that great, but I just finished the second episode before this instead of watching Boba Fett, and it was really good. So I'm excited to continue.
And then, well, actually, other stuff for television. I guess we could talk about wrestling. Such a big thing.
No.
Such a big thing. So the Royal Rumble, it's January, so the Royal Rumble's at the end of the month, as always. Kind of a big thing that the WWE decided to do, which everyone's fucking mad about, is pretty much announce every entrant for the women's Rumble. Like that's the whole point of the Rumble, is to be surprised who's coming up.
Oh, like
they not ever. There's still about 10 wrestlers they haven't announced.
Yeah,
but like they have announced at least 20 of them, and you're just like, what the fuck? And like some of them would have been huge surprises had they just not told us. So like they fired Mickie James earlier last year, and it was kind of a big thing because they sent her stuff back to her in a garbage bag. It wasn't. So the producer who did that is now fired and doesn't work for the company.
Okay.
And WWE stated like a whole apology about it. Like,
yeah, that's not okay.
We did not know this was happening. That's such disrespect, and we don't believe in that. Anyways, so Mickie James went over to Impact Wrestling and is now the Impact Wrestling champion for the women and is going to be in the Royal Rumble. They announced it. They even said it on WWE television that she's the Impact Knockouts champion, which is a big deal for WWE because they don't say things. And they'll bring back like Summer Rae, no one's seen for years. These would have been big surprises, like Kelly. I mean, she's been around. She's in every Royal Rumble because they don't have women wrestlers. They don't believe in real women wrestling in WWE. It's a whole thing, and I hate it. But still, it's like, and then Charlotte Flair, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion, is in the Royal Rumble for some stupid reason, and everyone hates it. So that's my thing. So that's wrestling. That's TV. That's like, and I don't even watch it that much. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
But
that's TV. I don't watch a lot of it anymore. Well, there's not a lot on right now, to be honest with you.
No, there's not.
I always struggle trying to find something to watch. Right now, I'm actually watching, I don't know if you heard about Taskmaster. Joe at work told me about it. So it's this British TV show. You can watch almost every season on YouTube. He literally gets contestants of 5 comedians. It's hosted by another comedian and his friend. And they get they just deal them with tasks they have to finish in like half an hour to an hour.
Oh, I have heard of this. Yeah. Yep.
It's actually really, really funny because some of the things they do, like it's like you have 10 minutes to eat as much watermelon as possible, and they get into the and your time starts once you get into the room. And I'm going to show you a couple of things because it's absolutely hilarious. and it's honestly a really good show. And I think season 1 and gosh, I laugh about it all. Like some things you're just like, what? Why would you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have so much time to do stuff and
Yep.
you just choose to do that. Hold on, give me a second. Ads on YouTube are so I don't know if you noticed this recently, but ads on like YouTube are so bad these days. I find. I don't know if you've been watching a lot of YouTube these days, but I find them so annoying.
Yeah, but like it is. Well, okay.
Like I
Let's talk
understand they're
about
trying
this
to
a little
get
bit.
you to the. I understand they're trying to get you to do like. So I have just opened this video. I have
Mhm.
skipped once, and now I've had 3 ads since then.
So first of all, you're doing it wrong. You should have ad blocker on, and you just don't get ads in your browser.
That seems like a
That,
lot of work, and I don't have time for it.
it takes about
So
2 seconds, and you get all the time back that would normally be spent watching ads. Now, I watch YouTube more on my phone and on my Apple TV where I can't block that stuff. So I
yeah,
do know what you're talking about with ads. But there's a reason why ads have gotten worse recently. And when I say worse, I don't mean like the quality of advertising has gotten worse. What I'm saying is the targeted ads, the ads that would be more relevant to your likes and cares, have gotten worse. And that's because there's been a lot of movement in the privacy space within the tech industry in the last couple of years. And one of the big things that happened in the last year or so was companies like Apple and now Google's following suit. They are really protecting your habits, what you're doing, what you're looking at, what you're reading. And as a result, a lot of the stuff that used to be like really, really targeted at you and like, you'd go and read
the
this
worst
here
thing
or
about
watch
this.
that show there. And all of a sudden, everything you're getting advertising wise is very tailored towards that.
So here's the thing. When I did this, it was all ads for StreamYard, and we're using it right now. Like, fuck off.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, like it's not completely not trackable, but there's clearly like been a shift. Yeah.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, I'm going to show Matt this video here, and it is from the episode 1, season 1 of Taskmaster, and their task
Mhm.
is to eat as much watermelon in like 10 minutes as
Oh my
possible.
God.
So everyone has a different way of, and when they walk into the room, it's a full melon. Some people brought in, left, and came back with tools, try to eat from it. I think this is the best one that happened.
If you've just joined us, you've missed some comedians either eating or not eating a watermelon. Who are we seeing next?
We're going to see Ramesh and Tim together.
So
I have
Ramesh
gripped
is
them.
this is Ramesh and Tim's version of it.
Oh my God.
He's just hammering it down. This is the best one.
Wow. He just smashes it.
Just
Wow.
smashes it on the ground, and he has to eat as much as he can. So now it's all over the place.
At least it's in a clean room, but still, yeah,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. Oh my God. This guy's face. Oh my God.
I'm going to throw up.
And he's like, "I'm gonna throw up." Like,
Oh,
they're all
well,
they're
yeah,
eating
of course you're gonna
so
throw
quickly.
up. You eat that much of anything in a really short period of time, you're gonna throw up.
If I throw up, will you weigh it?
And he's like, "If it throws up, does that count? Or are you gonna weigh that as much as
Oh
I
my
didn't eat it?"
God.
Look at that. Happen 3, 2, 1. Like,
So,
grow up,
yeah,
YouTube.
let's take
But,
a moment to sponsor Adblocker. Adblocker. It's free. Download it, and you don't get ads anymore. anywhere
Anyways,
on your
so
browser.
that I think just from that scene, you should watch Taskmaster because it's just so stupid sometimes things they do.
Yeah.
And some of my favorite like British comedians are there. Like Ramesh is on there and he's hilarious because he's just so he's me if I was a comedian because he's just so serious about everything.
Sure.
But it's so funny. One of the seasons has Jamie Acaster on it. And he's hilarious. One has Catherine Ryan on it, and she's funny. There's a lot of British comedians, but it's a good thing. You should check it out. Taskmaster on YouTube.
Like I haven't watched it, but like I've seen clips, and
Yeah.
I can't think of the clip specifically that I know for a fact came from this show. I did a quick look, but I can't remember enough to like find it. But yeah, it's funny. It's a good watch. I'm gonna have to check out more of it.
Yeah, I just love that walks in the room, just smashes it on the ground.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And at the beginning of every episode, like, so they have to bring a prize. So, like,
Yep.
that you win at the end of every episode. So the winner
Yeah.
wins all the prizes. And sometimes it's like, what is the most, like, you bring me your most prized or your favorite possession or your favorite or your most expensive thing or whatever. So, like, the one thing Ramesh brings us his wedding ring, and he's like, yeah, if I don't win, I'm not going to have a wife anymore. So it's a whole thing. And he brings in such the most ridiculous stuff in his season. And then, like,
Wow.
and then, like, the one girl brings out like a diamond ring, and she's like, I know for like the Taskmaster's a friend, like all friends with all these guys. And she's like, I know for a fact that's not real. How much did you actually pay for that? And she's like, 12 pounds. So she obviously loses, and you get a point for every time for your based on your thing. So check it out.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, Taskmaster.
Yep.
I'm just getting into it. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
I love British comedy though. It's funny. Funny stuff. British love their game shows. The British love their game shows, and it's hilarious. Movies, moving into movies real quick. The new Scream movie, which is not a reboot apparently, or a what do they say? It's not a reboot,
sequel?
and it's not even a sequel really. And
So it's just like another movie in the same universe
with the same characters from the first one, and new ones. So yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying it's not a sequel and it's not a reboot. So
what is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it the re-sequel?
I don't.
Is it a prequel?
Anyways, apparently it's getting huge, like huge reviews, obviously, but it's also getting really great reviews. IGN gave it a 9.
Wow.
Yeah, so people are loving it. It's got brought back everyone like Courtney Cox, David Arquette, the main girl, Nev Campbell. They brought back as many people as they could that I think lived through the event. So that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So that's cool. Big thing today, January 12th, Eternals is now on Disney Plus to watch for everyone for free.
Exciting.
So go check it out.
Finally gonna watch it.
It's not everyone's favorite Disney Marvel movie, but I thought it was good.
First Marvel movie since like probably the first Marvel movie that's ever been in theaters that I haven't seen in theaters.
That's fair.
That's crazy.
That's fair. I've seen them all, so that's fine.
Well, way to rub it in.
Yeah, so it's out there. Give it a chance. Let us know what you guys think, because I've seen some mixed reviews. I've seen people big Marvel fans say it's not their favorites, and I get it. There's a lot happening in it, and it's a very different. It's a different pace than most Marvel films.
Like the big name characters that a lot of people are familiar with, right?
Yeah, and it's got a lot to do. It is introducing 8 new characters, so I get it. Actually, 9 if you want to count the one that's not really an Eternal, but he's there. So, but the end credit scene, the last one, introduces even another character into the Marvel universe. So it's like, oh Jesus Christ, there's a lot going on. I get it, and it is a lot of information to introduce all these characters. But I feel like it's done pretty well. So I think that's not too bad. Yeah. So that's TV for you. Just run real quick before we end this off in the next 5 minutes here. Some big news. Sony decided they're going to keep making PS4s, even though they said they didn't in 2022 because of the chip shortage of PS5. Be careful on the internet in the next few weeks until Horizon Zero Dawn comes out.
Spoilers.
Forbidden West, because the story has been leaked already.
Of course.
Which,
my gosh.
Big funny story. The officer's been fired for chasing Snorlax on Pokemon Go instead of catching robbers they were supposed to be doing. In LA.
Team Rocket's really just getting away with everything now.
Yeah, exactly. Days Gone. A lot of controversy always comes up over time. Days Gone has outsold Ghost of Tsushima, but has been considered a failure by its studio, which makes no sense.
It's interesting. I mean,
Ghost of
they
Tsushima
were really
sold-
pushing it hard when it was like coming out. It was supposed to be like the
Yeah.
next big blockbuster. And
Yeah, and it was filled with bugs, sure, but
Interesting.
everyone loved playing it. I enjoyed playing it. It sold 8 million on the PlayStation and 2 million on PC. Ghost of Tsushima has only sold 8 million, so kind of a big deal there. And then the last week, the PSVR 2 was confirmed and announced. No date or price or anything. Realistically, just specs of it. I assume we'll be out by Christmas for everyone. And we'll have to do a unboxing of that because
yeah,
I have
that'll
to
be a
buy it.
fun-
Apparently.
well, obviously, you're the PlayStation guy here, so
Yeah, and then E3 has been canceled for in-person events again this year, which is not really too surprising.
yeah.
Which sucks for a lot of people, but whatever. It is what it is, you know. It
Yeah.
is. As
mean,
the
in
story
some
of what
ways,
it
like,
is.
For E3, like I've struggled for many years watching it remotely because they'll start a trailer, they'll show gameplay, and what do? Every single E3 that they do that live with an audience, they decide to pan away from the content and show you the crowd. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching this to see people in an audience. You can show me that, between speakers, but when there's content, when there's a trailer or gameplay, I'm watching this for that. I don't care at all that there's people in attendance. Like, it just frustrated me like every single year. And I'm like, who is the showrunner for this? Like, who's deciding what cameras to like go live at any given moment? Like, sorry, mini rant, but like that's been like one of my like biggest things that I've been frustrated about with E3. So this like digital only has actually been a blessing in disguise because I'm getting to see exactly what I want to see. Because what else are they going to show you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like some things, I get like big game reveals. You want to see the audience reaction, but split screen it, right? Like just do it.
Oh, exactly. Like,
But
don't take my entire attention away from that because I have I'm powerless. Like, I'm sitting here as a viewer at home and I'm like, cool. I guess now PlayStation really wants me to know that they have people watching the thing live. It's like watching a movie on Netflix and then it panning away to showing you what people were reacting in the theater. You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of like this big thing. Like this year, Nintendo's not usually at E3, but I imagine they might be this year. But there's the big rumor of Mario Party 9 this year with a big new twist. They haven't really said what the twist would be. But I assume it'll be announced then if they don't do their own Nintendo Direct before it. Which they usually
probably will. Like they do a number of Nintendo Directs throughout the year, not limited to just E3 timeframes. So hopefully it makes it out. Like typically when Mario Kart games are announced, it's not a big lead time. Like usually by the time they announce it, it's because they're really close to like finishing the
releasing
game.
It. Yeah. So I mean, we haven't had a Mario Party for 5 years, pretty much since a Mario Kart. Sorry. Since,
technically, like the one we have on Switch came out originally on Wii U. It came out in 2014. Like this is it's an 8-year-old game now. We've just gotten to like play it again, Yeah,
and I fucking hate it. So there's that. Fucking Mario Kart. What a fucking hate that game sometimes. I also do, but I do and I don't. But I also hate playing it on those fucking like little controller things. My hand cramps up so much because I'm so used to a bigger controller. So like, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Oh man. Well.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll end it there. If any comments and questions, concerns, always let us know. If you have questions about why I hate things, and ask them, as I hate a lot of them.
And maybe one day you'll find out what he doesn't hate.
It's not a lot. This is not a lot of it out there.
Give you a hint. It comes from dairy. The answer is cheese. Alice loves his cheese.
Yeah, I do.
And chocolate cake. So
chocolate
there
is
you
great.
go.
Chocolate is great. Anyways, as always, let us know what you think in the comments of our, social meds. And
for next week, we really want to know what all of you think. Our President's Choice decadent chocolate chip cookies, would you take that or would you take, what were they, Alex?
Well, fact that you don't even know. Obviously, most people are going to take the President's Choice one because nobody buys fucking Fudgios other than people who actually care about Fudgios. People don't, you know what I mean? Like, You haven't tried them at the
Everybody
same
go out
time.
and buy a package of each. Well, you don't even need to buy the President's Choice one because you probably already have it because it's that good. And why wouldn't you have it?
I would disagree, but that's fine. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying compared to the Fudgios, they're better. Fudgios are easier to eat. I find they're less crumbly. They're less, you put them all in your mouth at one point, at once. And you're like, it's like an Oreo, but better because it's all chocolate instead of that cream shit in the middle. I'm not saying Oreos are bad. I'll eat a box of Oreos if you give me one, but so sponsor us Oreos. But that's fine. It's or Fudgios made by two different companies. One's
Why
Canadian,
are you holding
one's
a
not.
knife? This is really escalating.
I was scratching a scratch ticket. I didn't even realize
This got really intense.
It's like crab. It's like that crab that had the knife the one time. But yeah, Fudgios, man, made by a Canadian company, while Oreos are made by an American conglomerate. Like, let's think about that for a second. They used to be made in this city. They're not anymore because Dare doesn't live here anymore. But that's not the point. The point is they're delicious. And then you got President Choice, and they're just robbing their employees of stuff. So realistically, who's the better company? Is it the guys who make Fudgio or the President's Choice that is stealing all your money for Loblaws? Let's think about that for a second.
And on that bombshell, it is what it is, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.